How's it going, everybody? Welcome to We Do Tech, and also to another tech news video where I catch you guys up on all of the latest tech news that happened in the last few days. It's a new week, so hopefully there's going to be some nice tech news coming out this week. But for today, it's not really too much that actually happened over the weekend. So starting off, the leaks of the 12th generation Intel mobile P series CPUs have started popping up. The mentioned CPUs are the i7-1280P and the Core i5-1240P. The differences between the P and the H CPUs are just that the P CPUs are the differences between the P and the differences between the P and the H CPUs are the P. The differences between the P and the H CPUs is that the Ps do come up with a TDP of 28 watts and a turbo powering up to 64 watts, whereas the H CPUs, the non-Ps, goes from 45 watts all the way up to 115 watts in turbo. On a Geekbench, the Core i7-1280P scored 1,784 in single core and 9,790 in the multi-core points, while the i5-1240P scored 1,648 in single core and 8,550 in a multi-core. The 1280P has roughly the same performance as the Ryzen 9 6900HX and the Core i9-11980HK, which isn't bad, seeing that this is more of an efficient CPU. Now also, the i5-1240P ended up being faster than the Ryzen 5 6600H and also delivers faster performance than the i7-11995G7. Stupid names, Intel. But anyway, take a look at the performance. These CPUs might actually be a nice addition to more thin and light laptops. Even like the Aero here is really thin, but sometimes it can get a bit hot. So again, having the pretty good performance out of that, but also in a nice thin and light laptop, which doesn't use a lot of power. And again, it doesn't get that hot necessarily because the power is lower. That could be a nice addition. Then next up, last week we talked about the PCI Express 5 power connector for the newer GPUs, that the ASUS ROG Thor 2 power supply pushed 600 watts of power through the new 12-pin connector. Well, ASUS has since quietly changed it to 450 watts now. In order for the cable to push out more than the 450 watts, it needs to be internally grounded, which would have meant that the Thor 2 met that requirement. But since then, they have changed it on their website, and now the Thor 2 is only stated to push out 450 watts. So this is going to be definitely enough for majority of GPUs, but if you want to go for something like the new ones that's actually out, 3090 Ti, you'll probably need the 12-pin plus an additional 4-pin or even 8-pin to actually power that card. So that does kind of defeat the purpose of just a single connector supplying enough power for everything. But again, it is a 3090 Ti. Not a lot of people are going to go that route anyway. Then next up, for 8 years, we have had GTA 5 now, and it is still being played by a ton of people every day. But finally, after asking for years and years and years and years, Rockstar has finally confirmed that GTA 6 is well underway. Not sure what well underway really means. Could it be still 4 more years? But we'll still have to wait and see. And then also, there's no title as of yet, so GTA 6, that's all we know. But at least there is hope, even if it could take additional 10,000 years. Then last week we touched on the subject of AMD's RDNA 3 GPUs that might be launching later this year. Now we have some more confirmation that these GPUs will actually use hybrid 5nm and 6nm nodes. A LinkedIn profile of a AMD engineer mentioned the MI300, which is a successor to the Instinct MI200 data center accelerator, which was AMD's first multi-chip module design GPU. Not much is known about this new GPU yet, except that it will most likely compete against Nvidia's Hopper and Intel's Ponte GPUs. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Then next up, no doubt that Pokemon is just massive right now, and the new Pokemon Legends Arceus Nintendo game, which we also talked about a while back, has just proven that yet again by already selling 6.5 million copies in just a week's time, which currently makes it the second fastest selling Nintendo game till a date. Even my editor Ron is apparently playing it, and he said he's already put in 200 hours since Saturday Saturday. So yeah, he's enjoying the game. Not sure if I'm going to just get a Switch for the new Pokemon game, but hey, a lot of people are playing it, and apparently there's like PC emulators out as well. So, but don't do that. Then next up, NVIDIA has released drivers on a Linux for a new RTX 2050. Yes, you heard that right, an RTX 2050, a MX 550, and also an MX 570. Now, specs-wise, the RTX 2050, which is just stupid again, but it's based on the GA107 GPU core with 2084 cores, which is more than the laptop 2060 variant, which again doesn't make a lot of sense. And it boosts up to 1477 megahertz and has a TDP of up to 45 watts. It also features 4 gigs of GDDR6 memory that clocks up to 14 gigabits per second, but that runs across a 64-bit memory bus, which will provide 112 gigabytes per second of bandwidth. The MX 570 and the MX 550 have no detailed specifications yet. It seems like the MX 570 is based on the pure GA107 GPU, while the MX 550 uses the Turing TU117 GPU. The GA107 is already shipping in RTX 3050 laptop SKUs. So probably what happened is NVIDIA just took some of the RTX 3050 GPUs that didn't perform that well and converted them into 2050s now. I think that's what's kind of happening here. So I don't know what's going on. NVIDIA's just doing whatever they want currently. Then next up, Star Citizen is a game that had a $430 million budget and has been planned for release in 2015, but still nothing has been released yet. Now the developer RSI has said that they will no longer make their roadmaps public because it causes too much noise from supporters, as they expect those updates as promises and not merely visions. Now they will only give details on upcoming patches that's being released. With the amazing potential of this game, it's kind of sad to see the developers kind of taking that route. Maybe instead of just adding more and more unnecessary content, they could actually focus on finishing what there is now and then add new stuff later on. Now, I haven't played the game actually, but I know my editor Ron, editing the video, he has played it and he says it's really cool, but it's just new stuff every now and again, and it's nothing really that finishes the game, which it's kind of just like a DayZ all over again, where it's just like alpha stage for a decade and nothing really happens. So we'll see where it goes, but it's probably going to take another 10 years. Now, it seems like strange screens are becoming a thing now, as Thanco has unveiled a TL portrait display. At about $100, it is a 7.9-inch 70 by 208mm screen that connects via HDMI and gets power via micro USB. The screen is aimed for more social media users because in a portrait mode, but obviously you can use it in different applications as well, depending on what you can use it for, maybe like PC stats, or maybe some, Ron said as well, like maybe racing games where you can put your dashboard on there. But it's cool, and this one was also not too expensive. The previous one we talked about, it was quite a bit more, I believe, at $400. This is much more reasonable, so hey, maybe it could be a nice addition just below your screen there. So then next up, when you think of a Rolls-Royce, you don't necessarily think about speed and aerodynamics and so on. You usually think about comfort and luxuriousness and everything, which I don't really care that much about. But anyway, you might actually be wrong about that, because a Rolls-Royce's Spirit of Ecstasy, the little emblem in front of the hood which pops up, which people sit on sometimes, stupid. I've seen some videos of that happening, stupid. But now they have actually redesigned it to be a more aerodynamic. This is done for the new Spectre car, which is also a fully electric car, which again, aero is very important for their cars, especially electric. The new Spirit of Ecstasy is a 3.25 inches tall, which does make it 0.68 inches shorter than the current statue. So it's definitely going to be so much faster now because they made the statue a bit smaller. So now it's going to be a nice 10-second car. We'll reach 100 kilometers an hour in 2 seconds. Imagine. And then finally, the original Motorola RAZR, what a phone it was. I didn't actually own it, but a lot of people really liked it. Well, now you might actually see a third one coming soon, as Motorola have now been granted a patent by WIPO for another foldable phone. Like the previous RAZR, it seems to be a tall and narrow, but the screen is on the outside and a foldable display wraps around it. As such, it creates a dual screen device when folded. It does seem pretty cool, and phone companies are getting cool ideas for some of these foldable displays for the phones and everything. But most likely this is just for a concept design. We possibly might not even see it in our actual hands. And it's also going to be probably super expensive. And I'm not keeping my hopes up too much for Motorola. They've kind of been a disappointment as late, so well, we'll see where it goes. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment like always. Also, check out our Discord, linked down below. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I will check all of you tomorrow for another tech news video. Cheers, guys.